Well, hello and welcome to Tim Time Projects. So this project here, as again, is the HQ129X that just seems to live forever. The project, I mean. Uh, Today, two things. The BFO, well, three things actually. The BFO doesn't seem to work the way it should. Anyhow, I am getting a signal. I think we looked at that in one video. The other thing is I'm still muddling through aligning the IF. It's pretty hard to find any good documentation on the IF. I don't have a Sam's book, and the actual manual for the radio leaves a lot out. So I compiled some information from a couple different people on YouTube that know more about this than I do, and I think I found something that works for me, or at least should work for me. But the thing I want to work on today is the fact that I have one dead band. Everything else seems to be receiving, but I have one band that's just dead. So maybe we can find that and see how we can find it. So come on along. Well, a little bit about my game plan first. I'm going to, let me see how that's going to show up. I think that'll work. So it was working and then it stopped, but I guess it doesn't make much difference. That only helps me a little bit. It's only one band, and the other bands seem to work pretty good. So I think you can eliminate a lot of things being the problem. Uh, that leaves me with, for this particular band, the only things that are specific to this band would be the oscillator for the local oscillator, the actual RF oscillator, and then the antenna. And of course, the switch that switches between all those. Yeah. So, like I said, we know that everything else is working. The amplifier is fine, and the RF circuit, mostly the RF circuit's fine. But as far as the IF and everything, all the amplifiers, the tubes, they're all fine because it's only on one specific frequency, or band rather. So, if you look here right in the middle of the screen here, the L9 through L8, but goes all the way across, that's the RF section. And then if you look right to the left of that, that's the antenna section. And then if you look to the right of that, there's the oscillator section. So it's a pretty good chance it's one of these things that's going to be the issue. Just an experience that I've had when you usually have a dead receiver that's got nothing whatsoever but just the white noise from the inside of the radio. It's usually the oscillator, not the RF oscillator, but the actual local oscillator, this part right here. So that's what I'm going to look for first. So the first thing I'd want to do is I'm going to hook up and see if I have any kind of output from the local oscillator, because you should see that. And I think we've done that a couple of times. We've looked at the local oscillator output on different radios. So we'll use the RTL software-defined radio, that little pod I have, and we'll check that and see if we have anything. The other thing we could do is actually supply a signal that would be very close to the RF signal, because the oscillator is going to be a difference of 455 kilohertz. So just be somewhat close. We're not looking for perfection. We just want to see if we hear anything. And if it works in, then that's another way to check it. So we'll do that. But what I'm thinking, I'm trying to figure, well, what would go wrong in it. And the one thing that seems to be the big culprit here is the switch. Where is the switch? There, right here in front of us. S21, that's wafer set 1, front. Here's S21, wafer set 1, rear. That's what the R is. And then up here we have switch to the wafer set 2, and that's the rear. So I'm going to look really good at this, because this is what switches back and forth. And we know all these other coils are working. So yeah, I mean, a coil or a capacitor or something could have burned up. It just seems like we're missing something that tunes every other thing good. So I'm going to really look very hard into the switch circuit, and I think it's L15. So it'd be this guy right here that I want to look at. That and the associated capacitor. So that's my diagnostic procedure, and that's what we're going to give a shot to. Let's see how it works. Okay, I'm going to see if, without making everyone sick, I can look down in here at the, this is the front of switch number 1. Right, and it should be in the position that we're not showing any local oscillator. I'm just trying to see. I've cleaned these multiple times. I mean, it looks like it's making connection. That's the connector there. And it looks like back down on there. Let's see. Would be the other connector. Not sure where that wire goes. I can't even see a wire coming off of it. Maybe if I look at the back of this, I can see in there. This might be a little tougher to see. It is very hard to see down into these switches. I mean, this one looks kind of clean there. I can see the connectors crimping it. I think this is the side that when you choose it, it's actually an open. Well, so I think it would be this one. Here's the back side. So that'd be switch. This is switch 2. I mean, what I can see, there's see how it's an open. So that's like when that band's chosen. Oh, yeah, when that band is chosen, it opens that contact so it doesn't couple it with anything else. And you can see that in the schematic. All right, here would be the transformer for that. Right in here. It's the first one. That looks kind of grody. Okay, so while we're here, we can look at the, see if we can see any local oscillator activity. And it was working, and then all of a sudden it just got quieter and it just stopped. So I had no, nothing on that band. And you can hear, I'll move the speaker a little closer to the microphone. That's with the volume turned all the way up. You really can't hear much. I'll put the speaker, actually, or the microphone right next to the speaker here. That's the band. That's the band above it. That's the band below it. Okay, here we go back on. So I'm going to put this this pickup for the SDR and you've seen me use it before. I'm going to just put it in the bottom of the radio here, not in any one particular area. Well, where the local oscillators are. And we're at, oh, I don't know, we'll look around at around 4.2. We should see something. So let me go back to that. I have to find that. Here we go. So here's this band, and we're right around where the tuner says, and as I move this up and down, nothing's happening. So we'll pick a different band. And that's going to be one up. That's 132 to 32. So we're probably around the 190. So don't mind all those artifacts. They don't really use much filtering in these. 1.9. Now I'm going to tune it, and we should see something moving around. Oh yeah, see, I'm really close. I maybe if I move back, we can eliminate some of those. So I'm guessing that that's going to be the local oscillator marching on it down here. Okay, so back to the drawing board here. I turned off the BFO. And I'll move away. Like I said, you can't go by a lot of those artifacts in there because it's just the filtering on here. I could probably find a way to filter it better. But you can see them moving around as I'm moving the tuner back and forth. Pick another band. Probably pretty much the same thing. They're moving. But when I come down, even the artifacts, when I come down to this band, nothing. Okay, so my camera cut out. It automatically timed out and you couldn't see what I was doing. So generally when it wasn't working, what I did was I came in with this and I started poking around here by the switch. Well, when I got here by this capacitor, as I pushed on this lead, this red lead going up here, I noticed it saw simulate that. It was going. So I get up here and pushed a little bit more. Same thing. It started to work. So I thought, well, I have to check into there. So what I did was I decided at that point that I couldn't see past this little spacer, so I just took it apart, and that's where we picked back up. But I figured I would just explain how I got to the point where I was looking so deeply into that switch. Oh, well, it might not be as obvious, but you can see right in this area here, I don't know if my arrow's showing up, but there's actually part of a lead hanging down there. And I'll bet you, I had to take the switch apart. You can see the hole up there so I could see down in there. But I think that lead's probably hitting something, and that's probably why when I move things around, it comes and goes. So let me trim that lead, and we'll get back to it. Okay, so I was working right in here. Put the knob back on, but I didn't I'll have to take it back off. So let's see if that takes care of our lack of local oscillator. I was able to bend the lead out away and then get in there and cut enough of it off so that it won't have that problem happen ever again. Hopefully that's the only problem we have in there. Looks like we're about, we put it about 4. We'll go back to this and put it at 4. And we're at the correct band. Looks like we're still looking at the right thing. Let's stick the scanners. Oh yeah, look at that. There's our All right, so we know now that that's working again. Yay! Oh, I need my antenna. I'm going to move it back in here. Look at that. So that band is now taken care of. So that's all it was a lead. I guess I must have disturbed it when I was putting stuff in because it was behind the switch. Couldn't see back there. So that's taken care of. I can put the switch back together now. That will not take very long. All right, I'll just speed through putting this back together. You don't need to watch all this. It's not really that exciting. Having issues with the BFO, and that's the next thing that I'll mess with. So I'm not worried about that. I can't really receive the sideband, but the radio is receiving. Uh, I'll call that a success, a lucky one, albeit a success. Uh, Next thing we'll do is I'll be hitting the the BFO, the beat frequency oscillator. It works, but not real good. So I have a feeling something about the way it links up and or it's connected back into the circuit. So I find a capacitor I think may be a little bit suspicious. We'll take a look at that later. Thanks for watching. Take care.